Bellerian's boss fight has a somewhat similar flow as the Traka fight since she's a mage as well. However, she is a little bit easier, and the strategy is more or less the same, which is play aggressively and stay on top of her to interrupt her casting. She can apply different status effects too, but these rarely affect the fight, except maybe electrocution, since it affects your stamina and you need a lot to play aggressively. Being a mage, she has a host of ranged attack spells in Phase 1, with the first being a fire trail she flings at you by smashing her staff into the ground. Dodge this and attack quickly. If this hits you, it can drop fire pools where you move, which is bad. She can also fire off a similar attack that looks like rocks that does heft buildup instead. Her next spell casts an AoE circle under you, then another under you again, then a delay followed by a third circle, and then a longer delay followed by an even larger fourth circle. Dodge these and position yourself near her on the fourth circle so you can get in some attacks afterward. This attack does heft buildup, which makes you heavier if it triggers. In Phase 2, this attack looks blue and can leave flames on the ground as well. Throughout the fight, she'll attempt to cast a blue bubble shield around her that prevents you from staggering her and decreases her damage taken. You want to attempt to cancel this before she can cast it so you can keep the aggression with staggers. If you don't though, you should play more passively, waiting out her combos before committing to any attacks. Once you destroy it, it will deplete a huge amount of stamina from her, leaving her open for a brutal attack more often than not. Sometimes she'll flip into the air and plunge your staff down in a large AoE, followed by a very delayed second plunging attack in another large AoE. These attacks do electrocution buildup, so you want to avoid them if possible. This spell is blue in Phase 2 and does more accumulation if it hits you. Occasionally she will float to the side, summoning small groups of skulls overhead in an arc. These home slowly onto you, so try to avoid them while keeping the pressure on her. She also has a spell where she summons 5 skulls above her that home onto you, but these fire off one after the other instead of all at once, so try to avoid them because they can also impair your vision if they hit you and you cannot block them. She can also cast a yellow beam of electricity at you, which does electrocution buildup, so you should try to dodge it if you can. In Phase 2, the yellow beam of electricity becomes blue and lasts longer, and sometimes she does a variation where the beam lasts a shorter time, but she dodges and does a second beam rapidly. She has a 6-hit attack combo with her staff that starts with a delayed swipe, followed by another delayed spinning swipe, followed by another delayed swipe and a swipe after that, followed by a slightly delayed swipe and then a delayed spinning swipe. Brink guard these if you can, it's not that challenging of a combo. Sometimes her staff will glow white and she'll try to smash you with it and then follow up with a delayed spinning attack that looks like a large white sword. Try to brink guard or dodge these. She also has a 3-hit combo where she'll swipe twice with her staff and then vanish and appear above you and plunge down onto you. Brink guard and follow up for some damage. Sometimes she varies this and swipes a third time instead of teleports, so be ready for that. She has a second 3-hit combo where she jumps at you and pokes with her staff, spins it striking again, ending with another poke. Brink guard if you can and follow up with attacks. There is no cutscene or animation that announces the arrival of Phase 2, but instead there is one mechanic that you really need to pay attention to once her health gets below around 60%. This is when she'll likely teleport away, then raise her staff into the air and start shooting streams of skulls out at you. This can look similar to another attack she does where she summons 5 skulls, but instead she accumulates skulls which can be used to summon spectral creatures. You should try to interrupt her when she enters Phase 2 and does this animation as quickly as you can, as the more skulls she accumulates, the stronger the creatures she can summon. I recommend shooting her with a javelin first thing in Phase 2 to cancel it out, but this can be inconsistent later on, so try to get in close if that fails. After she attempts to accumulate skulls, she'll do an AoE move summoning creatures, and what she summons will depend on the number of skulls she acquired during this attack. Note that the AoE she does when summoning will also deal damage, so try not to be near her when she does this. If she accumulated 1 skull, she'll summon 3 Ghost Greatsword users that plunge one after the other and vanish, followed by a Bellerian plunge attack on you. With 2 skulls, she'll summon Ghost Wolves, with 3 skulls, she'll summon Ghost Archers, and with 4 skulls, she'll summon an Undead Assassin that requires you to first counter in order to dispel. At 5 and 6 skulls, she'll simply summon an Undead Assassin and keep the remaining skulls for her next summons. If she reaches 7 skulls though, she'll summon a Reaper Elite enemy that you must defeat before you can attack Bellerian once again. If you should get the Ghost Wolves or Ghost Archers, the best strategy is to just stay on top of Bellerian anyway and ignore these enemies, because she can do other attacks like summoning more skulls if she's out of your view, which can make things go very, very badly for you. Ideally, you want to interrupt her before she ever reaches 4 skulls, so learn to recognize this attack and try and stop it as soon as you see it. Also note that sometimes throughout Phase 2, she can sometimes just summon 1 skull without being interrupted as well. Sometimes she'll spin her staff over her head in a tornado-like fashion in this phase, flinging out skulls that home onto you. When you see this, move away and kite the skulls. She will follow up with 2 glowing white sword slashes, then raise into the air, summon 5 skulls that she fires at you, and then she'll plunge down and do a delayed white sword slash, leaving a massive AoE on the ground. This is a very deadly attack, and the best thing you can do is dodge the projectiles, brink guard the sword attack, and stay out of the delayed AoE at the end. She has a spell in this phase that shoots out a single skull at you, which seems harmless, but it also hampers your vision if it touches you and triggers an AoE on the ground where it lands. Be sure to avoid both the projectile and the AoE that usually detonates behind you. Lastly, she can also fire off 3 skulls in a line at you in this phase, so be on the lookout for that and dodge them if you see them.
Another of Ozma's assassins. Come, see what happened to all the others.